You listening to Precept on Precept. Captain Shim break it down to no meat left. Line upon line in the word make you respect. History collegiate when we teach it, brains reset. You listening to Precept on Precept. Captain Shim break it down to no meat left. Line upon line, the word make you respect. History collegiate when we teach. You listening to Precept on Precept. Captain Shim break it down to no meat left. Line upon line in the word make you respect. History collegiate when we teach it, brains reset. You listening to Precept on Precept. Captain Shim break it down to no meat left. Line upon line, the word make you respect. History collegiate when we teach. You listening to Precept on Precept. Captain Shim break it down to no meat left. Line upon line in the word make you respect. History collegiate when we teach it, brains reset.
Hey, shalom, shalom, Israel. Hey, Most High and Christ bless y'all. Welcome to another edition of Precept upon Precept on your Thursday. Out east, it's 10:30. It's 9:30 Central. We have a show tonight. It's a doggone eye-opening, depression, realist show for y'all. We're your host. I'm Captain Shim.
Officer Matthew.
Officer Mikael.
Officer Micah.
So all praises. Real quick, before we get into tonight's thumbnail, let's move right into the Watchman Report with Officer Micah and the up-to-date news.
Hey, shalom, Israel, Most High and Christ bless. Good to see everybody again. All praise to the Most High. I'm not going to waste much time. Let's get to it. Let's get right to it, please. First article. Come on, IT. Pray for IT team. Article 1. Bear with us. All right. Biden says he's considering gas tax holiday as admin targets July 4th announcement. So I guess he's trying to give people a little relief at the pump. Thought he said he couldn't control it. All right. So next article, please. Say he can control it. All right. Pence says he's never seen a president lie as much as Biden. So apparently, as Trump didn't. I mean, say he can't control the gas. Say he can. All right. So Pence is on point. Next article, please. This is how you guys get killed out here. Cop tells black driver questioning traffic stop. So they're not even hiding it anymore. So look, comply, don't die. All right. The scriptures tell us to agree with our adversary quickly. So don't start arguing on the side of the road. You're not gonna win the war there. All right. Juneteenth. Bill Nye Science Guy schooled after posting about America's founding and slavery. So Bill Nye, the science guy, yeah, he bringing it out like, hey, look, America was founded on the backs of slaves. They're like, no, telling too much truth. Next article. Texas GOP adopts anti-LGBT platform, refers to being gay as abnormal. So that dude catching all kind of hell for telling the truth. So y'all go back and read that at your own leisure. Next article, please. New Orleans mayor asking for extension on Katrina FEMA funding deadline. Are we not in the middle of hurricane season? It's a little late to be asking for a doggone extension. You should have had this. That's one of your top priorities, to make sure that the money's there for hurricane relief.
It ain't no top priority when you bobbing and weaving in the bathroom.
Oh, yeah, she's fighting. All right, last one. All right, that was the last one. This concludes the Watchman Report.
All right, shalom, Israel. Welcome back. Welcome back. A lot going on in Israel. Let's take a look at, shout out to all the brothers that's going out there, putting in work out there, traveling, away from their families, putting in work to come together and work in unity for a common aim. So all praises to the Most High for that, y'all. Let's see the thumbnail. Our thumbnail team is getting some help from other camps looking. So we look here. Just the basic food shortage, famine, gas prices, chaos, Plandemic continues. And if you look at the end of the day, you see that city's on fire, burning, and that's what we want to do. Is we're trying to burn Babylon down by bringing the word of God, bringing the prophecies in, and we're going to get into that tonight, because what's going to happen is it starts with the gas prices and the confusion, and it's going to lead to food shortages and famine. So we'll start off with article number 1. We're going to jump right into it. Last week, by the way, I'm just going to keep it real brief. The reason why we didn't have a show last week is because the American Negro had decided he wanted to let off about 50 rounds right over, literally probably less than 400, right? Less than what, 400 yards from here? Not even.
Sir, not even.
And it was a big giant firefight. They had all different levels of police. No one got hurt here, and the school was safe. But the young black man in New Orleans is bugged the hell out of his mind. Bugged. The mayor, Mikael pointed out, the mayor of New, she's a black woman, Latoya. Esau called her Latoya the Destroyer. And she lived up to that name because she was fighting someone, smushed another sister in the bathroom. Y'all think I'm playing. Look up Mayor Control in the bathroom chaos. Something. You'll see a video on it. We ain't got to show it tonight, but maybe we will. Let's get to article number 1, y'all. New Orleans is a crazy place. It ain't crazy as Chicago, but it's getting up there. All right, so check this out. Is that number 1? That's article number 1. Okay. All right, go ahead and show that. Yeah, wait a minute. That's crazy. I thought, wow. Wow, check this out. Okay, it's a YouTube video. I stand correct. That was an article. All right, we'll play the YouTube video first. So, you know, if we were to see, let's say, 15 or 20 cows die at a time, you'd be like, okay, you know, that's a lot, but that's kind of coincidental. You could kind of rationale that. We're about to show you, and some of y'all probably have seen this. This is actually from last week or the week before. There were 10,000 dead cows. That is, when you really put that in perspective, one big cow can weigh, I want to say 1,000 pounds or more. There's a lot of meat on a fully grown cow. All right, so check this out. Put in perspective. Esau.
Hey everyone, quick story I wanted to bring to you. In Kansas, there is a cattle feed station that had 10,000 head of fat cattle die overnight. The explanation being given right now is that these cattle died due to heat exhaustion. You can see on your screen now, this is after the cattle have been found. They've stacked them up, lined them up, for counting. And it just goes on and on and on.
Pause real quick. I'm going to show you how much Esau's the damn devil. So you trying to tell me, let's really think about it. You're trying to tell me that in, let's say 2 days, they said 1 day, that 10,000 cattle die. Well, what you're going to find is when Esau realizes economically, this is my opinion, economically that it's too expensive, I think he poisoned those cows. Because what we're going to find out later is that feed is doubling and tripling. So like a lot of times with the potato things, we saw that they had to throw away the tens of thousands of tons of potatoes. Well, Esau says, he's smart. He said, well, if I can't feed them, I'm not going to make profit. And I have to, what if I just kill them all? And maybe there's a tax write-off for it. But just keep in mind, they want you to think that they died of heat exhaustion. We're supposed to just believe that. Let's play on. Let's Esau talk to about this.
Again, they say this is due to the heat bubble that a lot of the U.S. is under right now. This part of Kansas was seeing temperatures above 100 degrees this day. The day that this happened, and at night they just weren't able to cool themselves off, and they cooked to death. So guys, this issue is really twice as bad as it seems, because not only have we lost 10,000 head of cattle, these were obviously destined to become food on somebody's plate or some animal's bowl. and they're not. But we also lost all the grain feed that these cattle have eaten to get them to market size. So we've really lost a lot, and it's just one more thing, right? One more event, one more impact to our food supply, one more, waste of resources when they tell us everything is, so close to crumbling. I don't know much else about this story, just thought I'd bring it to you. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, help a small channel grow. Thank you.
All right, pause. So I just want us to ponder on that. Y'all really think about that. 10,000. Well, what I want to do is ask a veterinarian, what is the possibility of that happening? I think you're going to find that there's something behind it. There's something behind it. 10,000. You trying to tell me that some of them cows that was on that, they weren't resilient enough to make it through heat exhaustion, to make it through a couple of days, 100 degrees? Well, what have cows been doing for millennial, for thousands of years? They all die like that? No. There's something more. And just like we're going to go on about when you see the factories that are being burned, think about it. If factories are catching a fire, planes are running into things, you think that this is a natural phenomenon? We got to really start understanding what's going on here. This is planned. This is truly a planned situation. Give me that article to back that up, please. And then we're going to open it up. I just wanted to start here because this is something that a lot of you might have seen this. Some of you might not have seen it. Okay, let's read this article, please.
Yes, sir. Meat industry takes heavy hit as up to 10,000 cattle die from heat and humidity in Kansas.
So what the Edomite was talking about, let's all focus our eyes on what the cows are eating, because we have another video to show you that the cost of that feed, that cattle feed, has been dramatically raised due to several different factors. And we're going to go into the drought of the United States and towards the end of the show. So just take a look at that. And mind you, 10,000, it said fat cattle. In the scriptures that talked about fat cattle, Israel, Most High allowed our cattle to get fat and the Egyptians were not. That fat cattle came at very high expense to bring them because they were getting ready to go to market to be processed. So that's what the Edomite was talking about, all right? Let's go ahead and read on.
You scroll it. There we go. Yet another food industry has taken a toll of thousands of cattle have died in Kansas from extreme heat, humidity, and the lack of grain supply brought on by Russia's invasion of Ukraine.
Esau is the devil. Go ahead. You can say, go ahead, Officer Mike.
Cap, when I was growing up, you had three types of grass. You had Bermuda grass, you had alfalfa hay, you had Timothy hay. You can get alfalfa almost for a big bale of hay, probably about maybe $60. Or you can get the Bermuda grass. It costs a little bit more. Timothy hay, that's expensive. We weren't going and getting grain from doggone Ukraine or Russia, nothing like that. You're just getting the hay out of the field over there and feeding them that.
Right. And Officer Michael grew up in a rural setting in parts of Texas. But I want you to I want to show Esau really is slick. Watch what it says in the first. It says, yet another food industry has taken a toll as thousands of cattle have died in Kansas from extreme heat, humidity, and the lack of grain. Well, where is the veterinarian reports? Where are some of the autopsies to prove that? Again, we're just supposed to take them at face value, that's what happened. They all died of humidity. I don't believe that. And if you believe that, you dumb. A lot of this is being planned to create a market for pandemonium and chaos. Just like you think that they couldn't have unloaded 110 ships like that. All of this is being planned, just like they created a doggone virus. They talked about it years ago. Okay, they're building up on it. Okay, go back to the article. I wanted to. Okay, so it says the lack of grain supply brought on by Russians' invasion of Ukraine. Well, we know for a fact that 10,000 cows just died and they were all fat. So now. So you're saying there's no grain, but 10,000 of your cows that were ready to be processed, who already ate all the grain, like the other Edomite said. So it just shows you that there's something not adding up. It'd be different if 10,000 skinny cows died, then you can make the direct correlation, hey, there's no friggin' food, right? This is being created for you because they're going to cause a very hard time for our people very soon. And you better start waking the hell up and realize that these classes that are coming out that the bishop and deacons are teaching, they're going to plan, it's going to become worse and worse and worse. And that's why they have things like rationing. They're starting, towards the end of the show, they have planned power outages in different states. That's never been done in this country before. Planned, to my lifetime, anyways. Read on. I'm going to open up in a minute.
The death toll has apparently reached at least 2,000 cattle. Matthew Lara, a spokesperson for the Kansas Department of Health and Environment, said, according to Reuters, this estimate reportedly comes from facilities that reached out to the agency for support in disposing of deceased livestock, the outlet reported. The cattle allegedly died from heat stress stemming from intensively high temperatures and humidity. Scarlett Haggins, a spokesperson from the Kansas Livestock Association, claimed, according to Reuters.
So it says, go up to that where it says apparently. So the numbers are disparaging. One's 10,000, one's 2, one's 3. Apparently in this video, 3,000 cattle that died in southwest Kansas. Original tweet said, farmer I talked in Kansas said it wasn't the heat. So, and I agree. I don't think it is the heat. I think there's something else going on, just like we're going to read next. Is any more on that article? That was it. Get me the thing about the chickens. So you might say, well, 10,000. Let's say it's 3,000. It's still a lot, and it doesn't make any sense. Now there's an article or a video about chickens. Okay. So this is another article. Well, maybe it's a video. Okay, all praises. The videos are better. And it's going to show that there were 100,000 poultry chickens that were perished in a fire. Interesting.
Egg producer is evaluating the damage left behind from this massive fire. It happened late last night in Howard Lake, straight west of the cities on Highway 12. Our Heidi Wigdahl traveled to Howard Lake, where state officials are trying to determine how it started.
Cleanup is underway at Forsman Farms in Howard Lake after a massive fire on Saturday night. About 19 hours later, you can still see a bit of smoke from the road.
This is where a poultry building once stood on the farm, which is a large egg producer in the state. Crews responded to the fire off Highway 12 around 10 p.m.
Waverly and Cokato.
A lot of sirens, a lot of noise, a lot of commotion. There's one of the fire chiefs going down the road.
Eddie Olson was 6 miles away in Cokato, having a bonfire in his backyard.
I'm a Skywarn spotter, so I do a lot of like radio communications and stuff, and this is like one of maybe 50 radios I have, so I just grabbed one and heard that they were dispatching all the departments, so I knew it was big.
Eddie grabbed his radio and arrived at the farm to find it in flames.
Structure fire, mutual aid.
It was incredibly huge.
Multiple fire departments were on scene to help fight the fire. The Wright County Sheriff's Office estimates about 200,000 chickens were inside the building. A Forsman Farms spokesperson says they're not sure how many chickens were killed in the fire. They're estimating anywhere from tens of thousands into a couple hundreds of thousands.
It's a lot of chickens. It's a hit to the egg market. It's people's jobs. It's a local community, so anytime anything big like that happens, it's not good.
Forsman Farms
so
sells
real
over.
Quick. We had a show about a month ago, and there's a pattern of fires taking place at night. So what I noticed right away is, why didn't the other buildings around there get burned? But the place with the most impacted, which is where 200,000, 250,000 chickens were located, that directly affects the market for chicken. But when you look, it's like a city of built with silos and none of that got touched. So what we're showing you is that you have to infer. You have to use inferencing. Don't listen to what Esau tells you. Well, we're not sure how the fire got started. We're not sure how the 10,000 because they're doing it on purpose. And you have to realize, well, if they're going to do that, well, it's the same people that gave our people syphilis. They gave them syphilis. They used a black woman to give our people syphilis. This is the same person and his descendants. They hate you. Give me Leviticus chapter 25. I got to get this real quick. We need to be reminded that we were not liked. This affects us more than it does the other nations. Leviticus chapter 25. Let me see. I think it's, oh gosh. It talks about, and we were hated. Let me see. Is it 26? Maybe it is 26. Yes, 26 and 40, verse 40, please. Thank you, Mikhail.
Leviticus chapter 26, verse 40. If they shall confess their iniquity and the iniquity of their fathers with their trespass. Verse 17.
Let me see. Yes.
Leviticus chapter 26, verse 17.
No, you're right with that. Go to 16 first.
Verse 16. I also will do this unto you. I will even appoint over you terror, consumption, and the burning ague that shall consume the eyes.
Right, that's disease, pestilence, read on.
And cause sorrow of heart.
Come on.
And ye shall sow your seed in vain.
Watch this.
For your enemies shall eat it.
So the enemies is the part I wanted, but now watch verse 17.
And I will set my face against you, and ye shall be slain before your enemies.
So when you read in Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68, verse 48, we were sold to those enemies. Well, if you're watching for the first time, who were black people and natives and Hispanics sold to? Well, you guessed it. We were sold to Caucasians. So our enemies are the ones that are going to cause these sicknesses and cause these things and cause us to have consumption of heart. What did it say? Verse 16, it said terror, consumption. And it said, it shall consume thy eyes, meaning it's not going to eat your eyes. You keep seeing these things. And your enemies are the ones that are causing these things to happen right in front of you. That's the point. Those who are, some of us still think that they like you. Yeah, the lowly ones might say, hey, they have coffee with you and this and that. They might even buy you lunch and ask about your family, send you flowers to you. And great, that's fine. Let them keep doing that. But this man that set you here, that God allowed, he's causing these things. That's why I'm making that correlation. Read on.
They that hate you shall reign over you.
Who reigns over us? Those that hate us. Who hates us? Our enemies. Our enemies are the one that are causing our eyes to see the things that we see. You got to see that. You can't be consumed with the belief that you're loved. You're not. You're not loved. Okay, is that it on that?
No, sir. Ye shall flee when none pursueth you.
You shall flee when none pursueth. And that's what happened during slavery. Is that it on that video with the chickens? Let's play on.
It's a local community, so anytime anything big like that happens, it's not good.
Forsman Farms sells over 3 million eggs per day to some of the nation's largest retailers.
Stop. Rewind that
In a
again.
statement,
Rewind that one more time. I think I'm hearing wrong. I thought I heard something about 1 million a day. I could be wrong.
It's a local community, so anytime anything big like that happens, it's not good.
Forsman Farms sells over 3 million eggs per day to some of the nation's largest retailers.
Is per week? What it said? Okay, let's read it again because I think we were all wrong. I want to hear it again because you got to understand something. 250,000 chickens can lay more than I think 250,000 eggs because they lay multiple eggs throughout the day. So let's listen to it again. I might be wrong. We might be
jobs.
Wrong.
It's a local community, so anytime anything big like that happens, it's not good.
Forsman Farms sells over 3 million eggs per day.
It says per date. I don't know if that's per day or not. I don't want to misspeak. Well, she said the word date, D-A-T-E, but let's just say it's 1 million. Play on.
to some of the nation's largest retailers. In a statement, a farm spokesperson said, quote, "No one was injured, and we are grateful that first responders were quickly on scene to put out the fire. Unfortunately, chickens were lost because of the fire. We are evaluating the extent of the damage, which appears to be confined to a single structure, as well as investigating the cause of the fire."
The Wright County Sheriff's Office says at this point they believe the fire was an accident. However, the state fire marshal is investigating the cause. In Howard Lake, Heidi Witzell, Carol.
You hear how stupid they want us to be? That stupid. This is the same man that told you that a fat white man goes down the chimney. And I was a kid, I believe. I'm looking at, because if you ever look up a chimney, right, it's really small. They got a shelf. It's a smoke shelf that goes up. And I say to myself, well, how the hell does he? I'll be 8 years old. I'm like, how the hell does he get through that little part? Your mother lied to you? Oh, she just comes right down. And then they have the carrot, and then she's leave a note. Thanks for this. Rudolph was happy to see you, and then took a bite out of the carrot. This is a culture of liars. A bunch of damn lying parents, lying grandparents, and we learn lies. Black people learn to lie to their kids too. Some black people keep it real. Daddy bought you that. But a lot of black people believe in that crap too. This culture is a lying damn culture. No one knows how it happened. 200, let's say 150,000 chickens die, and no one knows how it happened. All these fire science guys, no one knows how it happens. Y'all, listen, this is some crazy. We live in the last damn days where your enemies are doing it right in front of you, and the mass people, no one understands it. We more concerned. Big news when Joe Biden fall off his stupid bike. That makes news, but no one's talking about this. You got to see what's going on, man. They're getting you. Will Smith smack another brother across the face. They don't stop talking about that. That makes front news. Everyone talks about that. Stupid basketball, NBA Finals, talking about Charles Barkley, this Michael Jordan. They get you with all this BS. Meanwhile, they're killing the food supplies right in front of your eyes. This is serious. And that's why we tell you we need to start growing our food. We need to continue to stock food away, because right now you don't see it. But when it gets to the point when gas goes up even more, and now the cost of grain is 3 times as much to feed the animals, or the cost of animal feed, well, maybe it takes a year and a half to catch up. And now instead of a beef being, say, $4 a pound, for example, then it's $8, then it's $10. Now it's hard to get food. Now, as a result of that, people are going to buy. There's going to be more of a demand for vegetables because people are going to wane off the meat. That's going to have a demand. With supply and demand comes higher prices. We got to really start seeing this. This is why this should shake you to the core. We was in Chicago 2 weeks ago. Or was it 1 week? 2 weeks ago. And it was $6.49 for a gallon of regular gas in Chicago. Guess what? Chicago's in the middle of the damn country. You got to really understand what's going on here. It's not a damn game, okay? They're coming for us. They're going to come for the millions and tens of millions that are coming for us. We're going to be affected the hardest. All right, I just wanted to open up and set the tone for that, brothers. We got a whole bunch more, so let's bring it out. Let's bring it out. Well, I'm not going to sit there and talk the whole time.
Hey, Cap, to your point, Israel don't listen unless it's been said by Becky. So I'm going to back you up. Can we give that video number 5 with Becky talking about the price of feed, right, and how it's going to affect food costs? Yeah, let's bring that up real quick. Like Cap said, Israel don't listen unless it comes from Becky. Y'all ready? All praises.
I understand people being concerned about the gas prices, but what you really need to be concerned about is what your food pricing is about to jump to, okay? Calves and babies are just now being born. Keep that in mind. So the cost to raise them hasn't hit yet. This bale of hay last year was $4. Right, bag of grain last year was $6.
She said the cost to feed them hadn't hit yet. The cost to raise them hasn't hit yet because they're just being born. Yep. Calves and babies just being born. Remember, springtime is when life happens. So, hey, rewind it a little bit and let's play it again.
Bag of grain last year was $6. This trunk full in here last year would have cost me $14. Today, $20 for a bale of hay, $18 for a bag of grain. I got 2 bales in here. It's $58 worth of food. Lasts just my goats and my horses 2 days.
Pause that.
Yep. Square bales don't last.
It said $58 worth of hay and grain lasts 2 days.
Yep.
So y'all don't think from $14 last year to $58 this year, you don't think the price of meats is gonna go up in the stores? Y'all can go look in the store right now. A case of 6, let's say, lamb chops is probably like $30 now, whereas last year it's probably about $16. This is a plan. Joe Biden said it himself. We got to have money for the second coming pandemic. These things are planned. It's not a coincidence what they're doing. Wake up, Israel.
Hey, can I get Matthew 24? Matthew 24. Yep.
The book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom.
So the reason why we got to touch on these things is because this scripture right here is coming to pass as we speak. They got nation rising up against nation. The cause of a lot of this is a nation rising up against another nation. So they say. Read.
And there shall be famines.
There shall be what?
There shall be famines.
If nation rises up against nation, that's going to cause trade embargoes. That's going to cause shipping restrictions. All of that is going to affect the supply and demand. Is going to affect the economy globally. That in turn is going to cause famines in and of itself. Let alone Esau is the so-called white man, by the way. The Caucasian, that is Esau. They are the red man in the earth that controls everything, that exalts himself as the eagle. All right? They control everything. They are Esau, and they are not given any place of repentance, which is why they are so vile enough to put their own people's lives in danger to kill everyone else. Like Cap said, we already know who is going to affect completely. We know what's going to affect us the most. But they willing to set 100,000 chickens on fire in a small town that's dependent on that economy for their survival. They willing to do that to them in order to hurt the rest of us. Read on.
And pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places.
Pestilences and earthquakes in diverse. We are seeing this today. Just the past 2 weeks, we've had earthquakes in. They have earthquakes in Afghanistan. They had earthquakes in Thailand. They had earthquakes in Taiwan. There are earthquakes all over the place. And what are we doing? We have to bring this out to show the people the Bible is a real book. It's true. That's why when you see 100,000 chickens dying, come on now. What could possibly cause a fire in the middle of the night and nothing else is affected?
Nothing else is affected. And that's the thing about it, is that because we believe, our people believe in white Jesus, we believe everything they say. They lie to you in your face. Like, think about it. I don't know how many of y'all at home. I remember when I was like 8, 9 years old, and I was at the back of the bus, and this dude told me, "You actually believe that crap about Santa Claus?" I said, "What you?" And I was ready to fight this guy as a little boy. "What you talking about?" When I went home, I stepped to my mother. I was dead. I said, and I little 8-year-old, I said, "Mom, I want you to tell me the truth." And I said, "Tell me, don't lie to me." And I kept telling her. She said, finally, she broke it down to me. She said, "Santa Claus is not true. Me and your father's bringing this stuff out there." Then my little mind, because we believe in that stuff wholeheartedly, then I began to say, I instantly said, "Well, what about the Tooth Fairy?" I said, maybe she's still real. Then I asked about the bunny. And my whole world changed. Then I knew my parents was liars. but it comes from a lying society. Now, real quick, we said something earlier that's not accurate. So that's why I said, the brother said 3 million eggs a day. That's not true. It's not 3 million eggs a day because a chicken can only lay 1 egg every 24 to 26 hours. So let's say, for example, they are able to put a screenshot up there. So they're probably, if there's 200,000 chickens, they probably can lay 200,000 eggs a day on average, right? 5 to 6 eggs per week. So let's just say they killed 100,000 chickens, right? So if they that means it's about 700,000 eggs that they destroyed, the process of 700,000 eggs every week for the life of a chicken. Now that's millions and millions of eggs. So let's say they killed 100,000. Let's just keep it nice and even number. And let's just say that, let's just go with an even number. They lay 7 eggs a week, whatever, it's a little high. 700,000 eggs in a week. And it's probably more than that. Well, after 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, where chickens lay eggs for, I would say, at least a couple of years, maybe a year, millions upon millions of potential eggs were destroyed. And that's why they do that. Because then if you divide that 700,000 by 12, that's the number of dozen eggs. You got that?
58,333 dozens of eggs.
So think about how many shelves that affects, whether it be Walmart, Rouse's, whatever local grocery store. This place was one of the largest in all of the state. So when you think about it, it's been factory after farm, after this, after that, and it's all been in the last year or 18 months. How come this ain't happened in 2012? How come it ain't happened in 2006? Why is all this happening now? You got to ask yourself, because they're planning to get ready to drop something major on you. Yes, gas is hard. Don't get me wrong. We all know gas is hard. And that whole COVID thing, when they were saying people going to the hospital, and then COVID death, all right? They did all, okay, fine. We got through that. They realized a lot of these Edomites got so mad. The Edomites getting mad is what really stopped that BS from going into businesses. They was getting, their pockets was getting touched, and they had to minimize the mask laws. But here's the point. Where it's going to really affect you is when they make food to the point where you can barely afford to buy it. Then this society is going to have mass chaos, and that's where we're headed. That's why Mikael showed you that video. The white woman, you can tell she was serious. She's probably going to go out of business. And if you go out of business, then guess what happens? The big monarchy or the major monopolies. Now they can, if there's only, say there's 20 different producers, and only the largest producers can keep business going. Now you have monopolies on markets like the meat market and certain other commodities markets. Guess what happens? Then they can price gouge and control the price unless the government goes into the private business field and begin to regulate that, which they have to, that takes a lot of work to do that. But my point is that it's going to get to the point where you're going to have a hard time getting food. And it's going to be so expensive. And we may not see it for 2-3 years. Bishop talked about that. When that happened with Claudius Caesar, I think in the book of Acts, the famine took a certain number of years before it actually went down. I think it was 7 or 8 years before it went down. Bishop just went over that. So don't think it's going to happen tomorrow or the next day. When it does happen, they're building up. You better get your own crops. Those of you who have land, don't sell your land. Don't sell your land. Learn how to plant crops. Learn. Start to dehydrate. Learn to can. Shout out to Cap Shemai, Cap Yadin, and them brothers with the Preppers channel. Learn all of that now. Learn it all now. It's not a damn game, man.
Hey, Cap, you know how Bishop brought out, the end of the world is going to be like labor pains. Mm-hmm. So imagine this, 100 to, well, they said hundreds. They said they don't know if it's thousands or hundreds of thousands. Let's say it's 100,000. All right, all of those chickens are dead. Guess what? It's going to take time for little baby chickens to grow into big chickens so that they can eat again. So it's going to be a short time where it's going to be hard to get chickens. Chickens is going to be high as hell. Then when the supply gets replenished, guess what? That's going to go, price might drop a little bit, might stay up a little high, but then you're going to get a little relief. It's going to be like that. It's going to be like those labor pains. Well, somebody just sent me something real heavy. Go to that thing and go to the right there, second paragraph, right there.
Oh, right. They can insure your
This
livestock.
they can insure their livestock, Cap.
What is livestock and
Come on, stop moving it forward.
what is livestock and cattle insurance? Livestock and cattle insurance is coverage that protects your animals from the unexpected.
The unexpected would be, hey, all of these freaking cows just drop dead of heat exhaustion. Now, we live in Mississippi. I see a lot of cows. It is like 105 degrees.
Right.
With humidity, it's like 115, 120.
It's more humid here than it is in Kansas.
A whole lot more humid.
And they ain't dead.
They're not dead.
Right.
I see them all the time. They're just sitting in the grass, chilling.
They live across the street from Micah.
Yes, sir.
Big giant black Angus cows right across the street from you, Officer Micah.
I see them
And,
every
and,
morning.
and they're not dropping dead at all.
They doing just fine. I see them every morning.
Go ahead.
Livestock and cattle insurance is coverage that protects your animals from the unexpected. Whether on the farm, ranch, or in transit, your animals are considered your personal property. If something were to happen to them due to a covered loss, we'll help cover that cost to remedy the issues.
So guess what? Them farmers, they ain't taking no hit. They getting paid. Yeah, they lost 10,000, but guess what? They getting the price of that 10,000 still.
And you know what's heavy to the point with that is, do you see, this is where, if that was let's say that happened to a black man, these devils would probably want to do an autopsy on every one of them damn cows. Esau is Esau. Don't worry about it, Bob. Just line them up. Get your tractor out there. Line them up. We'll get a count. Send the picture in. We'll have your check in the mail. It's easy. This insurance, all that was set up for them. You can't do that. You can't do. They'll make you cross every T and dot every damn I. This is designed for them, not you. Just like Esau down where I live at, down here we live at, in Walmart, Esau walk around with a 45 on his hip. Black people, you can't do that. You can. If you do that, you better be a sheriff or you better be a security guard that just got off duty. You can't do that, but white men can do that. Walk around with a Glock 45, a Glock 19 on his hip. Nobody's ever going to say nothing to him. You do that, you're going to have a problem. You're going to have the police called you in the damn store. Okay? So the point is that these things are designed for them and their system. And this is why nobody's questioning this. Okay? And it's something fishy about that. I wouldn't doubt if he poisoned him. He can get paid off it. Or let's say he can't afford to feed them all. Well, the Officer Matthew, the brother or sister, just send it in. Well, you know, Marge, we're 65 years old and the price of feed is projected to go up 3 times. What should we do? What? You know, Bob, you got to. Why don't we just kill the cows? It's a hell of an idea. Well, just cut our losses and who cares? What, Bob? What about the American family? We don't. We're fine. We're white. We ain't got nothing to worry about. And they don't. By the way, they don't care about the poor. They don't care about the poor whites either. Okay, that's why they're really 2-time losers. It's unfortunate, but
what those people would do, Cap, is they'll buy land outside of the United States, use that insurance money to cover that price, and they'll just leave. When things get real bad, just take off, leave, go to New Zealand.
Yep.
You know, go to Australia, go to somewhere that's not really close to here, and then let that be that. They don't care about the American consumer because we're just money coming in for them for their product. That's all they are.
They have something in Mississippi. It's called the Mississippi Farm Bureau. Y'all probably seen them riding around. Like they sit off in the little cuts. They got all kind of little programs. They give Esau grants. They don't tell the common Negro about stuff like this. They don't us because we black. But they have stuff like this all over the place. Homestead exemptions, grants, livestock relief, develop. They give them all this stuff. So they can drop $100,000 cattle can drop. He say money there before the bodies even get cold.
Hey, real quick. Okay, all praise to the Lord. Look, we're gonna stick to the beat, and we're gonna go to break. Listen, like I said, shout out to everybody, you brothers out there going out there putting in the work. We're trying to bring this kingdom to its knees by coming together through the Word of God and letting the word of God be the one that's going to bring this kingdom down. That's all we can do is do our part. So you brothers, you keep, yes, it's taxing, it's resources, it's your time, it's away from family. Don't stop. Keep pushing. All right, keep pushing. With that, we're going to take it away to the break. Stay with us, please. Shalom.
Shalom, Israel. This is Bishop Nathaniel. I want you to know that you can view all our Sabbath classes live on IUIC TV. That's right, I said on IUIC TV. Download the app today.
Garrisons. They say nothing good can come out of Nazareth. Nah, confined to the hood, the flesh who we battle with, yeah. Here we go to war with the heathen nation. My people too tell get behind me Satan. Ungodly wretches are leaders. They see the profane this spirit of Jason. Yeah. My eyes always looking for Korah and Dathan. Look. Generation of vipers, women raised a wicked nation. Got an uphill battle, we know the Lord can save them. Who knew through the milk grew a strong foundation? We the golden rose that rose out of desolation. Chose purple and gold cause everybody hate them. We the mustard seed that grew out of concrete. I don't talk, let the oracles of God speak. And my brothers still children at a market. That whip blew up, let the laws of God spark it. It's flames. Wonder what a life into me, I felt shame. Mama got mad, told her don't call me by my cool name. Family look at me like I'm playing games, I act strange. I chose wisdom, so I'm not the same. I chose wisdom and demanded change. And she showed me this world is my Suda. Gotta let the Holy Spirit sit in your medulla. He told me that I ain't black, I'm from Judah. And if you want the kingdom, gotta prove ya. Yes. They say nothing good can come out of Nazareth. Nah, confined to the hood, the flesh who we battle with, yeah. Here we go to war with the heathen nation. My people too tell get behind me Satan. Ungodly wretches are leaders.
Shalom. This is Bishop Nathaniel of Israel United in Christ. I have an important message about your leaders in the Christian church. Your bishops, pastors, reverends, and ministers are all lying to you and leading you straight to damnation. The truth is, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans are the biblical Israelites, according to Deuteronomy chapter 28. Jesus Christ is a black man with white wool hair, according to Revelation chapter 1, verses 14 and 15. We as the Israelites must keep the commandments in the faith of Christ to receive salvation, as it is written in Revelation chapter 14, verse 12. I've challenged and debated Christian authorities all over the world on these issues. Not one of them has been able to negate this truth. Your pastors have led you astray, worshiping pagan holidays and false gods, just as in the days of old. So join us on our mission to restore the true nation of Israel before the decree goes forth. The work is plentiful, but the laborers are few. Visit our website at israelunite.org or call us at 855-484-4842 to learn more and visit our schools. Shalom.
Yes, sir. Hey, shalom, shalom. Welcome back, y'all. Most High in Christ bless. Most High in Christ bless. I'm like Captain Shemai. I don't know why Captain Shemai does that. Captain, you ever notice? He says, Most High in Christ bless. Most High in Christ bless. He said, hello. I don't know why he do that, but shout out to Captain Shemai. Got me doing that. All praises. Look, go to article number 15 because we were talking about before the break the fact that we had a farmer reported, or series of farmers, 10,000 head of cattle died of heat exhaustion. Another factory where they house massive amounts, hundreds of thousands of chickens, guess what happened there? Oh, there was a fire. No one knows how. All the other buildings were fine, but just where the chickens were at, 100,000 or more, no one knows how much. No one knows why it happened, which we did the math. It could be 750,000 or roughly eggs per week that now were off the market. Not just 1 week, then the next week. So it's millions and millions and millions of eggs that per month that were lost. Because like Officer Matthew pointed out, you have to raise new chickens. They have to grow and develop to be an adult chicken, if you will, before they're at egg producing ages. So think about the dent that they did in the market. And we also found out that farmers can get insurance to protect them if their animals just die of mysterious causes, which you don't know about, which protects them. So now we're going to show you another, I think it's a video. Yes, so it's a video. Well, an organic food plant fire. Let's see, did it happen at night? Maybe it happened at night.
Hey, Cap, you mean to tell me that the people that were thinking in the back of their minds, well, I eat organic plants and I don't eat beef anymore and I don't eat chicken. So,
right.
This is not going to affect me. So they got the organic plant. Then they got caught on fire too. Okay.
Y'all got to see that if you think about, there's a thing, military term called the war of attrition, right? So if you want to attack a society, right, you want to crumble it, you attack its transport, you attack its infrastructure, which we're going to go into next about the fact that there's been planned power outages that's coming up in the United States. You attack its food supply. And if you raise the price of gas and diesel in particular, which is higher than unleaded for most of the country, now you affect the ability of that country to transfer its food to the necessary place of point of wholesale to the point of actual retail. Really think about what's going on. Now we have an organic. Sure, but maybe before, it's all the pro-vegetarian people that are doing all this evil, attacking these evil farmers that's raising the chickens in a factory, on the concrete floors, and the cows are being in stalls and they're being fed Skittles, and we got to put a stop to this. Okay, well, what's going on with the organic? So you got, now they're being destroyed as well.
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So we have another warehouse fire here in Wilder, Kentucky. I actually had to
so she's reporting, we have another, because the reality is over the past 18 months or so, it's been not one, not two, there's been dozens and dozens of these, and a lot of them are accidental. So now here's a reporter from Kentucky saying she's not even shocked anymore. Yet we have another, because we've been desensitized. It's not shocking anymore. Before, when you, 100,000 chickens. Now we're like, you shocked, bruh? You shocked? Play on.
Warehouse fire here in Wilder, Kentucky. I actually had to look up what this company does. It's called Castellini's. They are the largest distributor of organic produce east of the Mississippi River.
Stop. To put in perspective, when you go to boot camp, everybody east of the Mississippi goes to one, and west goes to another training camp. They just said it's the largest. Rewind that again, because a lot of times we miss subtle details that gives us an understanding of the magnitude of the operation that is being talked about. Rewind.
Look up what this company does. It's called Castellini's. They are the largest distributor of organic produce east of the Mississippi River. They also have.
I'm getting my Bishop Yawasop on. Give me a map of the Mississippi River, because it said it's the largest producer of organic produce east of the Mississippi. Well, the Mississippi runs from the top of the United States all the way to the bottom. That means it's one side of the country. It almost went right by me real quick. So it's a whole section of the country, the largest. You don't have a separate fire department that investigates this. You don't have a stream of cameras and security that patrols that. If you're the largest, you should have your own privacy. How does something like this happen there? Y'all, if y'all not mad, y'all got to really see what's going on. And the anger you should have should make you get a green thumb. Well, I'm black. I'm from the city. I don't know nothing about that. Well, nigga, get a green thumb. You better get it quick. Go paint your thumb green, and you got a green thumb now. Get some land and get out there and start doing stuff. It's not a game. It's not a game. And you wait. When your stomach start hurting and push back to your damn backbone, you're gonna understand what we talking about. Okay, that's a terrible map. Can we get, because I just want the Mississippi. I understand you did a good job finding that, but there's too many other rivers. I want to see just if we can, if it's all right. Because the reason why is because, yes, west of the Mississippi is a larger part of the country. I understand that. But this encompasses many, many states, showing you how large this company is.
And west of the Mississippi is a lot of mountains. Not
Right.
many of our people, or many people, period, live in those mountains. It's like very few scattered. Most of the people live in those rural areas, and a lot of that is land east to the Mississippi.
Right. I would say probably the majority, it's a larger landmass, but most of the people live probably east of the Mississippi. And there's probably statistics to back that up. Now, I like that. I like that. So if you look here, we're in the state of Louisiana, right? So it starts way up at the top of Minnesota, the lake of 10,000 lakes. And it starts, and it travels almost Canada. Yeah, Canada, right? And it goes all the way down through Wisconsin, Illinois. That's the border of Illinois, down in Missouri, and also down to Arkansas. And it is the border of Mississippi, the Mississippi River. That's why they call it that. And it goes right through New Orleans, where we're at right here, and it dumps right pretty much into what they call brackish waters of the Gulf of Mexico. All of that land to the right. Now, I'll give you an example. So Chicago is the fourth or the third largest city. New York is the largest city. So the two largest cities in the United States are over. The third one is actually L.A. Second one is L.A., sorry. But then you have all these other cities, Cleveland, Akron, all the different cities in Memphis and New Orleans and Jackson, Mississippi, and Miami, Florida, and all the big Boston. All those major cities are serviced, and that's the largest organic produce. Produce means fruits and vegetables. In east of the Mississippi, the damn thing caught on fire.
Hey, Cap, if you actually look at this map, put the map back up. It's actually not giving you an accurate depiction of the landmass, because it's not showing the whole eastern seaboard. It's not showing.
Okay.
You see that? It's in white.
Right.
Actually,
So
it looks
you
like
still
from
got-
Mississippi all the way up is in white. So it's not showing that the whole landmass. So if you look at the Mississippi River, that actually is the middle of the country. It splits the country in half.
Damn.
So a whole half of the country is serviced by this company.
Right, and I'll tell you, you got a good point, Officer Matthew, what he said earlier. There's not a lot of people in North Dakota.
Nope.
There's not a lot of people in South Dakota, not a lot of people in Nebraska, not a lot of people in Kansas, not a lot of people in Oklahoma, compared to, say, just the tri-state area of New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut, and Pennsylvania. That area alone has millions and millions and millions of people. So to the point of the population is, I would argue, significantly larger in east of the Mississippi than west. So really just think about what were the magnitude of the company that produces organic produce.
Hey, we got to think about this. Look at what's going on. You got the food. You got the shipping crisis. You got plants being set on fire. I'm not going to say they set on fire. And all of this is happening within the United States. Now, granted, there are a lot of places worldwide where, a lot of the facilities are being burnt up and catching on fire, and they're losing livestock. Look at what's going on inside of the country that's supposed to be the greatest in the world. You're imploding from within. The people don't like each other. Your food supply is dwindling. You're at war with so many people. You're spread so thin that you can't even really accurately hold place in anywhere in particular. You got your nose in everybody else's business. Destruction is coming. Look at everything that's going on. This country is falling, and it's falling fast. Just look at what's going on with just the food alone. If the people inside of your kingdom are starving, you're going to have an uproar and division in your kingdom. Then your kingdom is going to implode from within, like many of the great empires before.
Remember the French Revolution? They stormed the Bastille. If you in college we studied, in high school you probably studied the French Revolution. It was a revolution to overthrow the French oligarchy because the people were hungry. And there's a thing called, they stormed the wall of Bastille, I believe it was called. And they overflew through the government. Same thing with the Holy Roman Empire. They imploded from the within. And guess when it happened? During the age of decadence, when everything was all great artwork and everything was, that when the morals of society begin to crumble, that's the age of decadence. That's when you see these things start to come about. We are living in the, guess what? And people are tired of this crap. And what's going on is, and the Most High putting in their spirits, for this to be happening and it's starting to affect farmers to the point where that white lady was like, look, it used to be $20, $30, now it's $58 to feed. So that's almost tripled. So for her, how much longer can she go in business? Well, guess what? As farmers begin to go out of business, then they have these big giant monopolies have power and the resources to control and sway whole markets. That's how price gouging starts. We did a show on that before too. Show that. Oh, I like that.
Yeah,
Akiem.
that's good. That's good.
So look, right? I tell you right now, Louisiana is a big state. Arkansas is a big state. Let's just go right up. Louisiana, LARMOIA in Minnesota. That track right there, there's not a lot of people in those. There's some cities. Texas has a lot of people. Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, South Dakota, North Dakota, very few people. New Mexico, a couple big cities. Colorado, a couple big cities. Wyoming, barely none. Montana, like they got 19 black people. Idaho, Wisconsin, Oregon. Cali got a lot of people. Nevada. So then you look at the East Coast, man, shoot. Just go to New York alone. The state of New York alone. Connecticut got a lot of people. Pennsylvania, they got Philly, Pittsburgh, Jersey, nothing but people stacked on top of each other. I know there's a lot more people in the eastern, east of the Mississippi. Yep. This is the largest organic food distribution center east of that red line. This is to put, let's just think about what we're saying now. For you to be able to cause a fire there, you got to have some serious intelligence to get this done. Not no stupid activist that's mad at this. You can't do that. They got security. They have people watching their stuff. They're not dumb.
Yeah, this ain't Peter going around around doing stuff.
This is serious, y'all. This is a planned, staged system that's going to eventually lead to the prices of food getting out of control. Look at the price of frozen. I look at the price of frozen fruit. That's I used to buy frozen blueberries. That's gone up over 40 cents in the last 6 months. That's a big price when it's $2.20 and now it's $2.70. And you look at the price of like beef sausage. That's going up about 60, 70 cents. That's a huge increase. Somebody said earlier the price of lamb chops. That's gone up significantly. Look at the price of ground hamburger. Look at the price of chicken thighs. They have gone up and up and up. And look at the price of fresh fruits. It's continuing, and this is the beginning. So, Israel, we got to really, this should inspire us to understand that, number one, your enemies are not going to feed you. You have to plan to feed yourself. Use your resources to save up to get your own personal house full of stocked. Let's work as a congregation to get our storehouses up, and let's use our forefathers in the history of agricultural development and also the high holy days based upon the agricultural growing, the Feast of First Fruits, the Feast of Tabernacles, or ingathering. These are things that our forefathers did. We were a farming society, and we got to go back to that. It's going to help us survive. And this should wake you to hell up to realize, number one, they don't like you. They're planning your demise. Mm-hmm. They're going to weather the storm. They've got old money, and they're not concerned with their poor. They're not worried about them. Okay? And by the way, their poor can carry guns open, and they're not worried about it. They still have their whiteness to protect them. You've got poverty, and your blackness is your curse. This is why we have to work together. We have to, and especially us who are awoke as Israelites, who understand the prophecies, who understand and see the signs of the time, knowing that our enemies are doing this. It should really strike you should be frustrated to the point where, you know what? Okay, look, I'm at a disadvantage. I know I grew up in the city. I know this, but you know what? I got to learn this, man. I got to start doing this stuff now. Okay? Matter of fact, I got 3 raised beds I got to plan. When I get back from this blitz, I'm going to get back and get this stuff done, and I got to do more. Okay? Even us who are very busy, you know, you got to get it done. You got to get it. You gotta stop making damn excuses. All right? Scroll. Huh? I want the video, yes, sir. And I want the drought. We're going to end with the drought. Just show fast. All right, give me the rest of that doggone. Yes. All right. Yes. Can we play on?
400 plus organic produce items. They do produce sourcing and delivery, packaging and transporting. So this will probably affect,
you said damn, so that means we got to rewind it because I missed it. So they said a lot of different, it's not just a place where they just grab the stuff from the farm and ship it out. There's a lot of roles that this place plays.
They do damn near everything.
They do damn near. Let's let the viewers at home hear what this largest organic food distribution center east of the Mississippi, who is organic, by the way, what they do in their order of operations. What is their logistical depth, if you will? Play.
They are the largest distributor of organic produce east of the Mississippi River. They also have 400 plus organic produce items. They do produce sourcing and delivery.
Stop. So, number one, they do produce sourcing, meaning they find a source that has these farms. So they research, they source, and they what is it? Deliver? What is it?
Sourcing and delivery. So they go to the farms, the organic farms, and get the products and then bring it to the warehouse, to the plant. So they go get the food from the farmers, bring it to the plant, and then play on
produce items. They do produce sourcing and delivery, packaging and transporting.
Stop. So they go to the farm and get the food. The source. They go to the source and get the food. They bring it to the plant. Then they package it, and then they ship it out.
Did y'all hearing this, right? So if I'm the owner, if we're the owners of this business, and we're the largest organic east of the Mississippi, don't we have some top-notch security?
Mm-hmm.
That means this is $1 billion. That means I'm going to have my own private security that not only track inside but outside, because I got to protect, because I do all these different things. And plus, usually people that are organic related, they are a better quality of food. They usually get, it costs more. As a result, they charge more. As a result, you have to be careful. And when you source organic, by the way, to be an organic produce, you have to have certain laws that you meet in order to classify as an organic farmer. So that means who inspects that? They're involved in making sure, well, I'm sourcing from you. Well, let me see your receipts. Okay, you have this much. You don't use this synthetic fertilizer. You're using these heirloom seeds. This is going. Okay, this is this. They're making sure they're buying from organic. This is a huge operation. I'm getting my butter on the biscuit part because I can't wait for them to say they don't know what the hell caused the damn thing.
Captain.
Yeah.
You would think like they would have like a DV. Out of all these videos we've seen, nobody had a video like showing like video surveillance or anything like that, because you generally would have something like that if you got a big business like that.
Right, you have a fire, you should expect to see a type of a couple of Edomites with Molotov cocktails throwing the damn thing in the eye. Something, right? Or maybe it's. By the way, this happened in the warm time. Mm-hmm. So maybe it was a furnace that was on Maybe in January you can get away with something like that. But it's hot, okay? You got to understand, the white man is so masterful. Christianity deceives you dumb black people so much to the point where they can tell you anything, and you just believe it. Our people are dumb as hell. They're stupid. You show them Deuteronomy 28 in the Bible. They're talking about, what about the white? What are you talking about? Your enemies beat you with nightsticks and the only reason why they gave you the right to vote is because other white people in France were given international pressure on the United States. That's why they did the civil rights movement, because they had pressure. Because the inception of the television, they could see what their wicked brother was doing across the pond. If it wasn't for TVs, you would still be getting your ass whooped with dogs and drink out of the damn colored fountain. There was pressure from other stupid countries. That's why, remember, France was so liberal. I gave you the Statue of Liberty. Oh, we'll send that over. Listen, they don't like you. They're trying to kill you. They're planning to kill you. Okay, and they don't care if they even hurt their other white business owners if they can hurt you. Okay?
Yeah, but I used to work at a plant. They have security there. You need a badge to get in. You know what I'm saying? You're not just going to walk in the plant. You're not just going to walk in there. You need credentials to get past there. If you're not an actual employee at that plant, you don't need to be there. There's always security at these types of places. That's how we know that this is man-made, that there's something behind all of this. Besides the fact that, the scriptures say famine is coming, this is man-made. They're pushing this on. That's why I like what Bishop Yawasab said. The more we teach, we activate the angels. Let's keep on teaching and going out there and bringing it out, so that way more stuff like this can happen. That way more things can transpire in the scriptures.
Esau got to do this pandemic, because you got a black man, the most intelligent man on the planet Earth, was able to create a machine that extracts hundreds of gallons of water out of thin air. Mm-hmm. Esau to put a monkey wrench in that, if you will, to try to stop what he was doing. I just realized, why do we say monkey wrench? That's probably some damn racist ass stuff that I probably just said. Monkey wrench is probably damn.
No, it came from the guy that I forgot his name, but he invented that wrench, and as a pejorative term, it was called the monkey wrench because it came from him. They used to call him a monkey.
Esau, well, it's probably a great invention. Let me tell you something about Esau. These people are the damn devil, and we're going to continue to play this on. It's a staged Plandemic. You got to see what's going on, and we're going to finish this video and sometimes you just got to marinate. East of the Mississippi, they do sourcing. They bring the product in. They have many, many, many different aisles of organic. Then they package it and distribute. There's a lot. This is a huge, huge industry of organic produce.
It said they have 400 different types of produce.
400?
400 different types of produce.
400. That's incredible. So I didn't even know there was 400 different types of produce. I'll give you 20 off the top of my head. That's about it.
We can run it back to make sure that's exactly
that's what they said that. I remember that part. But look, let's play on.
So have 400 plus organic produce items.
Damn.
They do produce sourcing and delivery, packaging and transporting. So this will probably affect, if not just the local area, nationwide, because they do deliver nationwide as well, and they do deal with local farmers. So, guys, prepare for more shortages.
You hear that? So again, this is all within, let's say, within the last couple of months. So just so we can put a general figure on this, time frame rather. So you have 10,000, and let's just say it's wrong. It's not. We're just going based upon, so they could be lying to us. Thousands and thousands of livestock are mysteriously dying of heat stroke. But then we found out there's insurance to cover that, right? Then you have a factory that no one knows how it happened, of 100,000 chickens that were destroyed, which we kind of came up with a number about 700,000 chickens and eggs per week, right? Do the math, multiply 700,000 by 26 weeks. That's millions and millions and millions and millions of eggs. It's hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dozens of eggs, which directly affect the egg market. Now there's more of a demand of eggs, which means they can raise the price. This is, again, is staged. Now we see an organic distribution center that not only do they source from local organic farmers, they also bring it into their large factory, huge distribution center. They also have 400 items of organic lines of produce. Then they actually package it and ship it back out. And we made the assumption that it was just East. They just said they ship nationally. This is going to, but here's the thing, Israel, this is, look, go back 2 years. This is happening over and over and over and over and over again within the last 2 years. Do y'all see what's going on? The shots, the gas, the COVID, the so-called vaccine, the COVID-19, the whole different stage, take the jab, don't take the jab. Shipping container crisis, can't get parts for wash machine for 8 months. Staged barges off the coast of all major ports in all the earth, in China, Singapore, Malaysia, all these major port places. Price of gas at the highest it's ever been in the end of May in the history of the United States of America. In the history. Last time it was that high, 2008 when the bubble busted, $4.13 a gallon. Now, at this point, this last 3 weeks, the highest it's ever been in the history of our country. Cattle dropping dead by the thousands. Yeah, this is really going to happen. And we as the leaders, the men, we have to get ready. You brothers that have time, you better take that time. You brother, we got to work together. We need our own farms. We need our own food. We need our own chickens, quail. Brothers, shout out to the brothers that's doing quails and chickens. Okay, we need to create that, and we can do that. It's going to come a point right now where when you're really going to start realizing is, well, damn, I can't afford to buy anything this week. And when you've been in that situation and you realize you're still making good money, but now, well, damn, it's going to cost me $150 to fill my gas tank up. Now it's only $80. Well, I got to get to work to get to make the money. But then if I do that, I can't afford to eat. And you're going to have to start making some serious decisions. That's why I tell y'all hear me? You say, come, Captain Shem, run his big damn mouth. A lot of y'all eat too much, okay? You don't need to eat more than one meal a day, okay? It's going to come to a point where y'all might only be able to eat one meal a day. Now, I've been doing it for a long time. I tell all you lard asses want to lose the weight, eat one meal a day. And I'm only talking to the brothers. All you sisters are lovely. There's nothing wrong with any of you, right? You're in a river. You're in denial, right? See, get it? You're in denial. You're not wet, though. But anyways, you brothers need to lose the weight, one meal a day. It might come a point where you can't get 3 meals a day, lard backs. Okay? One meal a day, you might have to do that. Okay? If you're not a lard back, disregard what I say. If any of you are offended, I'm sorry. Lose the weight, and then you won't get called a lard back. All right? To the brothers only I was talking to, okay?
No, you don't have to apologize, Cap. You know,
I do, because you know why? Women can't take it.
Not
women just crumble.
Not women. With the men, you know, the main thing that's offended is the chair.
Right.
You know, the chair is the biggest offense, you know what I'm saying? Because the chair is like, you know, why the hell you got to sit on me? Why you couldn't sit on the floor?
And when you go through education, they have a thing called personification, when they'll take an inanimate object and make a face of it. Can you imagine if they have a whole series called lard backs and chairs, and the chairs would be, and then the chairs would talk to each other, and the chairs where the lard backs would sit, they would be the oppressed chairs, and they would sing songs, and they would be like, nobody, they would sing songs of struggle and stuff like that. I just thought that could be very creative. But look, it could come a point when you only could eat one meal a day. So again, we grow our own food, we work together. We can create our own quail farms. So Officer Mike is doing it. You got Officer Gabe is doing it. A lot of brothers in Houston are doing it. Chickens are a very viable option where you have the eggs, which will continue. They'll keep laying eggs. And then when it's their time to die, you throw it in the pot. Okay? And then you eat the chicken. and you save some of them in an incubator, and you create new, and that we might have to survive that. And you might only be able to eat meat once a week, which is probably much better for you anyways. And you might only be able to eat one time a day because that's all the food you have. And guess what? It's probably better for you. Okay, because most of black people, there's a huge percentage of black and Hispanic people that are overweight, obese, or morbidly obese. A huge percentage of it. And maybe the Lord was going to bring us to that level where we're going to learn to work together and learn that very little is sufficient for a man well. Maybe the Lord about to show us that. You might want to practice now. Practice now. I know I'm a little bit harsh. We're going to, Akiem, I know we're getting close. Do me a favor. 10 minutes? Okay. Get me I want article number, U.S. drought. Let's look at 7, 8, and 9. Let's start at verse 8, then 9, then drop to 7. So, coupled with the fact that there's a war in the Ukraine and Russia, the Russian-Ukraine war was started because the United States and its allies broke every treaty, just like they did with the Native Americans, with their own brother Russia. Russia called them on their BS. They completely surrounded Russia, damn near. They got them boxed in, and you wonder why Putin is nervous, because you're trying to take Ukraine, which is directly doggone. If you're in the Ukraine, your 3 o'clock is Moscow. You literally is right there in the beeline site with a friggin' missile, landlocked missile could friggin' destroy that city. He's not going to have a problem with that. You try to park a damn truck in Cuba, try to park a truck in Bermuda with missiles aimed at Washington, D.C. What do you think the United States is going to do? We got to pay attention to what's going on. It's all planned. It's all damn staged. On top of all of that, yeah. Right. That's exactly correct. And that's what we were ready to go to World War III, because Russia had, in South America and in Cuba, they had military weapons. And the whole thing, the most I stopped that was about to be World War III back then. And ever since then, there's been the two Edomite brothers been beefing, right? But they're saying that it's based upon, the famine is based upon what's going on with Russia and the Ukraine. Well, guess what? The Most High is using that and one of the largest and worst droughts in the history of this country is taking place right now. But you want to talk about Chris Rock getting smacked by Will Smith and Steve Curry shooting more threes and breaking records, and you want to talk about grandmothers twerking and doing all this stupid stuff and your stupid, dumb world star, dumb news. And meanwhile, the Lord is bringing a famine on this earth like you've never seen before. And we're going to show you. Wait till we see. Do you got that video? There's a video of a lake, and it shows how far it's dropped. We're going to get that in a minute. Just go to 8 where I told you, please. I'm just trying to cram it in there. And we'll start right here. So there should be a map legend that defines the color based upon. Okay, there's the legend. There should be a legend. Okay. Well, anyways, I'll explain it. So if you look at this, there's 4 colors. So the very, actually there's 5. There's a light yellow, then there's a darker yellow, then there's a brownish yellow, light brownish yellow, then there is a red, and then there's a dark red. The red and the dark red are severe and extreme drought areas that are happening. And this map is as of a couple days ago, right? This is going on right now in the United States of America. That's a drought map. Now, back out of here. Is there any words with this? Okay. Get number, was 7 or 8? Okay, you got a legend? Yeah, so I was close. So there we go. So the abnormally dry. So the dark yellow, let's start where it says D0, D1, D2. So D0 is abnormally dry. That's abnormally dry. D1 is moderately dry. D2, which is the brown, the orangish yellow, is severe drought. Look at the doggone red. That's extreme drought. The damn D4 is exceptional. That means it's beyond extreme. It's super extreme drought. And this is happening as we speak with the damn war in Russia. And you think that, like you mentioned, Officer Micah, you think this is from the war in Russia? The Lord is jacking this country up. And they put, that's why this Will Smith crap, all that stuff is staged. To get your mind off this stuff. This is what's going on right now. You got farmers like, yo, listen, we don't know what we're going to do. They got water shortages. Things are going crazy. The droughts are happening. Now, thank you for that on that map. Let's scroll either 8 or 9. We're going to close out with this. I wanted to show you that y'all we better start waking the hell up.
Can I bring out a script real quick, Cal?
Yes, sir.
Get 2 Kings chapter 8, verse 1. This is dealing with what Elisha said. And there's something that he said in this verse that's very, very important. It's exactly what you just said, Cap.
The book of 2 Kings, chapter 8, verse 1. Then spake Elisha unto the woman, whose son he hath restored to life, saying, Arise, and go thou and thine household, and sojourn wheresoever thou canst sojourn.
So Elisha told this lady, look, pack up, leave. Go wherever you can go. Wherever you able to live, you need to go live somewhere else. Why?
For the Lord hath called for a famine.
The Lord hath what?
The Lord hath called for a famine.
The Lord called for a famine in Elisha's time. Who you think's calling for a famine today? The Lord is calling for a famine. He said, no. Hey, famine, the spirit of famine. I need you over here real quick. Come over here and just sit right here. I need you to handle something for me. Read on.
And it shall also come upon the land 7 years.
So at that time, it was 7 years. We don't know how long this famine going to last, but we do know that the Lord called this thing upon this country for a reason, and it's only going to get worse. That's why leadership has been putting it out over and over and over to prepare. Why? Because the Lord called for a famine.
That's heavy. And with that, guess what? A famine can purge out evil. And when you read it in affliction, they shall seek me early. There's going to come a time when we're going to be afflicted so bad that people by the masses are going to start realizing that we need to seek the Lord. And they're not going to find him in a Christian church. And they're going to come to the prophets of the Lord, and we're going to say, this is the reason why. Come repent. You need to wake up. It's time. Article number 8, there's 2 articles. Yes, this is it right here. Moment of reckoning. Federal official warns of Colorado water supply. I don't like Yahoo News, but this was good. Let's read.
Moments of reckoning. Federal official warns of Colorado River water supply cuts. The Colorado River's reservoir have diminished to the point that significant cuts to the water supply to the 7 states that rely on it will be necessary next year. A federal official warned Tuesday.
The Colorado River, they do various dams and checkpoints that create these large reservoirs. We're about to take a look at one of these reservoirs that provide much of the water for it said 7 states, and these 7 states are critical. Why? Because those are agriculture producing states, as well as with large populations and many of them are Israelites. Read on.
Bureau of Reclamation Commission Camille Calamine Tootin told the Senate Energy and Natural Resources Committee maintaining critical levels at the largest reservoirs in the United States.
So the Colorado River is responsible for some of the largest reservoirs in the U.S. That's why we got to really pay. Now, there's going to list some of them. Read on.
Lake Mead and Lake Powell.
So Lake Mead and Lake Powell, we're going to learn about them. And here's the thing. Why does everybody know about Will Smith slapping Chris Rock and nobody know about Lake Mead and Lake Powell? Mm-hmm. Why isn't this in the damn news everywhere you go? Because they want you to be caught off guard. Our people are this way. You got Jake doing donuts in New Orleans and standing on top of cars and doing stupid ass stuff and shooting each other when we should be working together and preparing for. They're going to try to kill you. And so I'm saying you in the club smoking weed and acting stupid, and your enemies are setting you up right now. They're setting you up right now. Okay, play it. Read on.
will require large reductions in water deliveries. A warmer, drier west is what we are seeing today.
Why? Because the Most High is making it happen. He's bringing a famine. And guess what you need with a famine? A drought is one key underlying factor. War is another underlying factor. Read on.
She said at a hearing, and the challenges we are seeing today are unlike anything we have seen in our history.
It said, so the history of the United States dates back to the 1700s. So these are officials that are in these bureaus that their job is to make sure that they govern this. They've never seen anything like this in the history of this doggone country. Why is this not on the news every damn night? Why is this not being talked about? Read on.
Colorado, New Mexico, Utah, Wyoming, Arizona, California, and Nevada all receive water from the Colorado River. And next year, we'll see a decrease of between 2 million and 4 million acre feet of water.
Stop. Now, I first looked at that. I'm like, well, I'm thinking it's a gallon. I'm like, that's not that big of a deal. It said 2 million acre feet of water. So what is an acre dash feet of water? And that's 2 to 4 million. I think it tells about it. Right. So it's gonna tell us. Read on.
Due to the ongoing drought that has gripped most of the western U.S.
So now me, I skip right by it first. So now it's gonna tell us because a lot we don't pay attention. 2 to 4 million acre. What is an acre foot of water?
An acre foot is the amount of water needed to cover 1 acre of land in 1 foot deep water.
So wait a minute. So you got a acre land. So that means the whole acre is got 12 inches of water. So wait a minute. Well, a gallon of water is about 12 inches. So you can line up as many gallons of water as you could. So how many gallons of water is in an acre? I want to know that. Google that.
I think it was, go back to the article. I think it said it right there.
It said it?
Just go back to the article.
Current allotments of water from Colorado range from 300,000 acre feet
it didn't say it.
for Nevada to 4.4 million acre.
We need to know gallons. How many gallons of water is in 1 acre dash foot?
325,850 gallons are in a acre foot.
So multiply that by 2 million. Damn. You gotta understand, Jake is worried about the dumbest stuff in the world, and this is the biggest drought in the history of the United States. There's a war in Russia. Gas prices are going up. You better really realize what the hell is going on right now. This is crazy. You can't even read the damn number.
So yeah, I had to turn my phone sideways. Okay, that's so 1,303,400,000,000
right
gallons.
So 1.3 trillion gallons of water. Now, if it was 4 million acre foot, that would be
that's
2 points. That's 4 million.
Yeah, that's 4 million.
All right. So 1.3 trillion gallons of water, that reservoir is dropping as of next year.
Damn.
So now we're going to put it in perspective of how much it's dropped since then. And again, it is the Most High. Because the Most High is going to break the spell of Christianity and that demonic sorcery that's over the Israelites' eyes. He got to jack their ass up.
Hey, Cap.
Yes, sir.
Can we get another scripture? Can
Yes,
we get
of
Haggai
course.
1 and 11?
The book of Haggai, chapter 1, verse 11. And I called for a drought.
He did what?
And I called for a drought upon the land and upon the mountains and upon the corn.
Wait. Where's the Colorado River? Ain't that in the mountains? Read.
And upon the new wine and upon the oil and upon that which the ground bringeth forth. And upon,
So it's talking about your crops. Read.
And upon men and upon cattle.
And upon cattle. Didn't we just have 10,000 cattle die?
That's right.
Read.
And that's all they told us about. This.
Right. That's all they told us about. It could be more, like you said.
And upon all the labor of the hands.
So the Most High said he called drought upon all the land.
All right. So look, I want to finish this article. We have other stuff. We never get to everything, but this is heaven. I want the visual. There's an old saying that we grew up. Your parents used to tell you. Your teacher used to tell you. The picture is worth 1,000 words. So we're going to scroll down a little bit, and I want you to look at I think it's Lake Mead that we're about to look at. The same article, and we're going to get ready to close the show out. So there's one picture from an aerial view, which doesn't do it justice because this is like and it's called topography, which is the study of maps, and you're seeing a view. An aerial view, but we're going to get more of a three-dimensional view. So scroll down.
Is that the After Effect, Cap?
I believe so.
I would like to see how that thing looked before that.
And that was probably all covered with water. But now when you scroll down, same article. Y'all watch this. Remember, that's just yep. I want you. Let's look at that. So this is, as you can see, that the different color of the mountain is, you can see that it has changed, and the water was much, much higher. Mm-hmm. Now, I wish I had put something in perspective because it's a lot higher than we actually think. If you could have, let's say, for example, if there was, I don't know how many, it's more than 100 feet. But scroll down, let's read under there's right there. Read a thick white ring.
A thick white ring shows the dramatic decline of water levels at Lake Mead.
That's Lake Mead, one of the largest water reservoirs in the entire U.S. That's at the lowest level it's ever been at, fed by the Colorado River. Why? Because of the dry conditions and the drought that God prophetically has caused in the past and is causing now. Read on.
The nation's largest reservoir.
See, I was wrong. It's not it's the nation's largest. Read on.
Which has reached its lowest water levels on record.
Because, however long they've been keeping records, this is the lowest. Chuck, well, how far do the records go back? Well, shoot, when my grandpa used to have slaves, we used to keep. Well, I never seen no record this low before. Read on.
Since it was created by damming the Colorado River in the 1930s. As growing demand for water and climate change shrinks the... Click more.
We almost done.
Shrink the Colorado River and endanger a water source millions of Americans depend on near Boulder City, Nevada, April 16th.
Now, I want you to scroll up. We already forgot the thought. Let's remember, next year, they project 2 to 4 million acre foot, which is 1.3 trillion gallons of water. It's going to drop next year, which is probably not that much in relation to how much it's already dropped. But if it keeps going like that, when it keeps going like that, they start to have water restrictions, not just for people in their lawns and their watering schedules, but also for the farm animals. You see the correlation? Okay? An acre foot is the amount of water needed to cover 1 acre of land in a 1 or 12 inches of foot deep water, which we read is about 328,000 gallons. Multiply that by 2 or 4 million, and that's what is expected to drop again next year. This should be national news. Just like how they track COVID every night, this should be on the news every night. Why is the black man who invented a way to make hundreds of gallons out of one machine from thin air, right? All the humid states, and you could create water for the people all throughout this country. Why isn't that being mass produced? Why isn't that being a multi-billionaire? Why isn't that being produced and patented everywhere you go? Why isn't that happening? Because they want you dead. They want to create a way for you to suffer. And guess what? The king of terrors, the God of Israel, is behind all of that. Why? Getting you so you can realize who you are, you can wake up. And we see it. We know what's going on. That's why we're going to prepare. And it's not nice. This show is not, it should shock you. It should make you nervous to the point where you're nervous. Okay, well, shoot. But I know I got to prepare. I got to get things in order. Okay? You brothers that are eating 3 to 4, 5 times a day, why not try to see if you can eat 1 meal a day and prepare for what might happen, what's probably going to happen. All right, so with that, we get over the show. Damn, it's already 11:19. We did not get to everything. Well, nor did we have. Anyways, I hope y'all got something tonight out of the show tonight. Meant to shock you and keep you. Oh, by the way, just last thing. Today on the Supreme Court, just the last article, pull up 16. Esau happy as hell now. Pull up the LA Times. Could you pull that up? Or we got to subscribe. We're going to touch this real quick. Probably next week we might get into this. The Supreme Court today, June 23rd, 2022, passed a 5-3 law, a federal law. Let's read it real quick.
Supreme Court bolsters gun owners' rights to carry a weapon in public.
Now, this is not state court. This is the Supreme Court, the highest court.
Washington, the Supreme Court on Thursday upheld the right of gun owners to carry a loaded weapon in public.
Now, this is today. Today is third. This is today. This is not two. This is today. Read on.
Ruling that the Second Amendment right to bear arms overrides laws in New York and California that restrict who may legally take guns when they leave home.
So before, Cali and New York was the most stringent. Okay, even if you was a former military guy, it's hard for you. Now, this is going to be interesting. The Supreme Court says, hey, Cali and New York, listen, shut the hell up. They can do that now. Watch what's going to happen. You wait what's going to happen.
Hey,
Anarchy's coming.
That's right. That's the chaos part. You take the food,
right?
You raise gas prices.
That's right.
And you make it easier to bear arms. Y'all see The Walking Dead. Y'all know what's going on. Art imitates life.
This is why, remember when it says in Psalms 91, and 10,000 shall die, 1,000 shall die at their right. There comes a time when it's going to get so bad. Like when it got so bad during the time of Noah, right? When at the end, they were just holding on by their faith and keeping the commandments. Remember, Noah was the 8th person. So Noah was the last when he closed the doggone hatch. So then as they're going, they're up in the ship. They're starting to raise because Mimosa flooded the earth, the earth from the springs underneath. Noah's ark was lifted up by water, and the water came from above. What do you think they saw? You got to imagine. And what were they feeling that time? Damn, the Lord must really love us because all of them dudes is die. They're all going to die. So we are the elect, the righteous. We are going to be delivered if we keep the commandments to the end. There's going to get a time where things get so bad, only God the Father and his righteous angels and the power that he has is going to deliver you. There's nothing you can do about it. It's going to get so bad. You got to keep the commandments and put your trust in the Most High, and he's going to make sure that you are all right. Just like remember when in Daniel, when the three holy children, when they were the sack, the instruments were played, and it said bow down and worship. They was presented with the fiery furnace, and at one point all they had to do is bow down, and then the king was let these niggas go. They said, nah, even if the Lord don't deliver us, we still gonna stand. And because they had faith, all odds was against them. The Lord brought them out the fire unscathed, and it was a man walking around in the middle of the fire. They saw that. So there's going to come a point where things are going to get so hard. It's your faith in God, your walk, your keeping of the commandments, knowing you're doing the right thing. In this time of evil, you're going to be protected. And no man can teach you to believe it. You have to believe that. If you fighting to not eat pork, fighting to keep the Sabbath, fighting not to hate your brother, fighting to keep these laws, guess what? You better believe you're going to be protected. You better believe that. You better believe we have to work together to get the things to protect ourselves as a nation. And that's where the faith comes in. Israel, build your faith up. Right now, faith without works is dead. If you're not preparing, I think Deacon Malachi, one of the deacons said, if you are not, I think Deacon Laba, the hammer said it, I believe, if you're not preparing right now, you don't believe. I think one of the deacons said it. Deacon Malachi said that. Okay? So Israel, I know we're a little late, but y'all stay in the spirit. We got our new shirts coming on the way. Probably 2 weeks we're going to have them. All praise the Lord. Yeah, I'm exactly 100% exhausted. So somebody say something.
Hey, look, Israel, famine is coming. Jeremiah told you in the land of Babylon to plant ye gardens, build houses. So we need to be planting gardens. All y'all got houses, plant gardens. So we about to close out. Look, Israel, give alms. Give alms. Y'all want to continue to see shows like this, y'all can give alms to IUIC New Orleans at via PayPal at iuic.neworleans@israelunite.org. Also, give to the Booster Club, because the funds that you give to the Booster Club goes to the nation, providing for the nation in many different ways. You can give to the Booster Club at iuic.fundraising@israelunite.org.
Israel United in Christ. We are not a hate group. We are not affiliated with any other Israelite group. Israel United in Christ is a nonviolent, Bible-based movement. We do not advocate or condone any acts of violence against any race, ethnicity, or gender. We advise that if anyone hears or knows of any plots to cause harm to anyone or to break the laws of the land, you must contact the proper authorities to bring awareness to any possible threat, as stated in Leviticus chapter 5, verse 1.
All praise to the Most High. Listen, Israel, we got to work together. I'm just reading a quote. This came to my spirit. It's a quote that Deacon Asaph said, and it just hit me. It says, successful people build, while unsuccessful hate, blame, and complain. Listen, we got to be proactive, because if we didn't prepare, when that time comes, guess what we're going to be doing? We're going to be hate, we're going to be complaining, we'll be pointing the finger. You didn't. No. Let's work on this now. Community gardens, your own garden, your own house, the storehouses, build, start learning things. Let's work together. They got shout out to Captain Shemaiah, Captain Yadin, the brothers working with the whole prep channel. Your brothers keep doing your thing. All right. So with that, Israel, hey, shout out to the Black Rhino. Black Rhino, if you out there, right, lose the weight, Lord, back. All right. With that, Israel, love y'all. Most High in Christ bless. Shalom.
Shalom.
You listening to Precept on Precept. Captain Shim break it down to no meat left. Line upon line in the word make you respect. History collegiate when we teach it, brains reset. You listening to Precept on Precept. Captain Shim break it down to no meat left. Line upon line, the word make you respect. History collegiate when we you listening to Precept on Precept. Captain Shim break it down to no meat left. Line upon line in the word make you respect. History collegiate when we teach it, brains reset. You listening to Precept on Precept.